it comes. Oh my goodness. In your life have you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the ages. Is it his time?
G'day and welcome back to another episode of the Putting It Straight podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Filsend, and alongside me this week are my brilliant co-hosts, Simon Dainter and Tom Palmer. Lads, how are we doing?
Very well, thank you, mate. What lovely Australian accent to bring us in, by the way. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I know, mate. A little bit of Aussie for you.
What's going on with that? Why the Aussie?
Well, you know, we had the little joke last week with your rule that you had to do an Aussie accent if Cam Smith won, and he didn't win, but I thought we'd try and introduce a little bit of it back into the podcast anyway.
All right, okay, cool.
It had to make an appearance at some point.
I'll roll with it. Yeah, definitely.
Fair enough.
No, I look like I've been to Australia anyway, don't I? Because I caught the sun a little bit. So
yeah, you've been outdoors a bit today, mate.
Yeah, just a little bit. Could be worse. Could have that pedo tash like that.
Why is it every time we come on this podcast, I get ripped for something different?
I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to start coming on like the masked man, just so that nothing of my face is showing.
Oh no!
I can't deal with it anymore.
You're all right, man.
Don't listen to Tom.
I'm only joking. It's okay. All is good. Your connection's brilliant, but all is good, mate. All is good.
I'm just waiting for this internet to just disappear on me because
It'll
be it.
We'll be all right.
Oh, right. Well, look, it's important to mention at the start of the podcast, we hit a really cool milestone recently. So on Instagram, we hit our first 1,000 followers.
Nice. Love it, Tom. Very good, mate. How long have you been practicing that?
Yeah, like that.
So, you know, obviously we want to thank everybody for the support that they've shown us on Instagram. It's been really good to have so many people kind of integrate and interact with the account on there. So hopefully that will start to kind of continue to pick up that way.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I mean, if we dive straight into the event that we've just had, so RBC Heritage at Hilton Head. As we talked about last week, it's always a bit of a strange tournament week after the Masters, a little bit of a come down week.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, still a really cool tournament. Stewart Cink coming out on top, winning by 4 strokes. Who saw that one? Coming?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone would have picked him.
I had someone that said to me that they were about to pick him, but they bottled it. So whether that actually means that they were going to pick him or not, I don't know.
Anybody can say that. Oh, yeah, I was going to pick him.
But yeah, what a player. And what a 4 days he's had as well. 36-hole course record. And at was he 45, 47?
Yeah, late 40s, yeah.
Yeah, late 40s, yeah. Quality golf. Absolute quality.
It was impressive. And I think, and they talked a lot about it, obviously Hilton Head, with it being quite an old style golf course, it almost acted as a little bit of an equalizer for the field. So you didn't really have your bombers taking over. In fact, I think I saw a stat which said something like around 285 yards was about the average driving distance for the week.
That's mad, that, isn't it, when you think about it? That is crazy.
It is, when we're living in a generation now where people are regularly hitting it over 315. And then you get an event where in a course where they can't do that and they have to put the ball in a certain position to create the angle for the second shot. So real proper test of golf, like having to plot your way around, which obviously played into the hands of Stewart Cink.
Yeah. So do you think that's a contributor to why he's won? Do you reckon?
I think it's a factor. And obviously they talked a lot about how he's using this. Have you heard of Decade? which is like it's a system that basically it essentially tells you where you should be aiming on approach shots based on where the hazards are and where the flags are. So it's almost like, so if you've got the water on the left-hand side of the green and the flag is left, from each distance, there's like a modifier of how far to the right you should aim with the flag. And it's a system that is
Really?
used. It's designed by a guy called Scott Fawcett. If you want to check it out, really interesting
I love the
stuff.
knowledge that you got, Matt.
I
This is
know.
amazing.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
it's something that I've started to use myself, and it's something that I want to use this year. So it's kind of a really cool way of almost, basically plotting your way around a golf course and figuring out where you should miss it. And it kind of dispels some myths of kind of, you hear a lot of people talk about taking one side of the golf course out of play.
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. Because even like you say, like somebody that hits a fade, they take the left-hand side of the golf course out of play. Well, they can still hit a pull.
Yeah,
and they'll overcut it, so that goes out the window. And there's a
Snap
few
hook
things.
everything.
Yeah,
you
you
ain't
could.
missing right.
Yeah, could snap hook everything, but you could play with the snap hook, Tom. That's the most impressive thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, it's and obviously he used it to brilliant effect this week. So really, really interesting win there. On the prediction side of things, Simon, how did we get on?
So the results were actually pretty strong again. You boys had a fantastic week. Obviously, you picked you picked Corey Connors, Matt, and you picked Matt Fitzpatrick, Tom. So you both got 8 points this week. I thought I was on to an absolute blinder by picking Cam Smith, whose first round leader shot 9 under. But then just
first round, unreal.
62, but then shot 71, 74 in the next 2 rounds and sort of dropped away a little bit, unfortunately. So that's twice now I've had first round leader and then they've fallen away.
I want the first round leader, mate. There's no point having the first round.
It's a shame you don't get any points for first round leader.
Yeah. Oh, let's just change our competition to first round points.
I know, yeah.
You can
I
get
wasn't
10
saying I
mate.
wanted more points. I was just saying twice I've had the first round leader.
Oh. It's kind of irrelevant though, isn't it?
Yeah, you're right. Anyway, so it's been quite a strong week. So I got 6 points for Cam Smith. He still finished quite strong, quite far up the leaderboard. No one picked Stewart Cink, as you can imagine. So he was quite out of left field. He had been playing well, actually. He'd been doing well on the stats, and he'd been having some good form, but I don't think anyone would have called him winning. So a couple of other people picked Matt Fitzpatrick. Julie Deakin picked Matt Fitzpatrick. John Daines picked Matt Fitzpatrick as well. Tim Hodson and Charlie Camper both picked Cam Smith, got 6 points. And then the other notable one was Andrew Cameron picked Shane Lowry and got 6 points as well. So really, really good scores this week. Not too many -5s. There was a couple, one Kevin Narr from Paul Chetwynd. And then there was one Tommy Fleetwood from Victoria Mallet, which, by the way, is her second or third -5 in a row now, I think. So she's come shooting down the leaderboard.
I was close to picking him as well, weren't I?
You were.
Fleetwood.
Yeah, you were very close to picking Fleetwood.
Yeah, shame you didn't.
No, shame you didn't. Yeah. So yeah, after being sort of, I think she was leader for 2 or 3 weeks, she's come shooting down the leaderboard, unfortunately.
Slammed it in reverse.
So as the leaderboard stands now, we've got Andrew Cameron and Julie Deakin tied in first with 37 points. We've got John Dainter in second with 33. And then in tied third, we've got Tim Hodson and our own Matthew Fieldsend with 31 points. Absolutely incredible stuff, mate. And then we've got Lewis Sands close behind on 28 and then me on 27. So I'm still flying up that leaderboard. So Matt, you've got 31, I'm on 27, and then Tom is on 20 now.
20?
Yeah,
20.
What am I doing down there? I just got a load of points.
Yeah, but Lee got you -5 last week, didn't they?
Yeah, that was it. That was the difference. Yeah, -5 last week, mate. So yeah,
sort it out.
We're quite close, and Tom's back where he should be, right at the bottom of the pile. I've got to say,
basically the bottom. Who's got on the bottom? Who's
it's,
bottom?
It's still Andy Deakin, and I wanted to say that actually.
How many points?
Andy Brooks, sorry, yeah, and Ryan Brooks has now actually got to 0 again. After all these weeks, he got 4 points this week, and he's back to 0. So exactly where he started.
Big shout out for Ryan. Well done, mate. Proud of you.
So yeah, that's nice to see. So yeah, it was a good week points wise. I think it was some very, very good picks. No one would have picked Stewart Cink, I don't think.
No.
Thought about it before now.
Yeah, so I thought about it as well. I was going to do it. I was right on the edge, and then didn't.
Yeah.
On this prediction game as well that we've got going, right at the start when we first began playing this game, we talked about at the end of the season for whoever's got the least amount of points between the three of us was going to have to be a forfeit.
Yeah.
I actually had a message from my sister a few weeks ago. I forgot to mention this when she sent it to me. She had a brilliant idea for a forfeit.
Oh no.
So I'm hoping you're both familiar with the Queen video, I Want to Break Free.
Yes, I am.
You're familiar?
Yes,
Tom, are you familiar? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I'm familiar with the video, but I'm just not liking the fact that I'm at the bottom of the leaderboard and we're discussing forfeits.
So I'm sure you can see where this is going. So my sister was suggesting that we that the loser basically has to do a reenactment of that video.
That is absolutely class. So
is
good.
golden. That is a brilliant idea. Right now, I mean, it's the only idea we've had, but it is a seriously.
Oh no, we've had some other ones that just can't be said on air.
They're not PC. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
That is a great idea. I love that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. So at the moment, that is potentially what we're going for. Tom's just got
your ideas up.
Don't worry, I've got a good pick for next week.
You need to get some points quick.
Yeah, you do. Quick time.
I've got a good pick for next week. Don't worry.
All right, mate. You say that every week, but all right, mate.
You do.
I shouldn't have gone for Lee. Literally, he's just let me down. I just thought I'd go outside the box. That was all it was. If I'd just gone safe, I would have been fine.
Well, you live and you learn.
Not doing it again.
It'll be back to pricking Bryson before we know it.
So, boys, our main topic this week is a cracker. So it was one that we brought up in our Master Special, actually, which was kind of around the greatest swings of all time or our favourite golf swings. So this is a really interesting topic in itself because there are a million different ways to swing a golf club. And sometimes it's not always the best looking swing that is the most effective. So what I wanted to start with is a couple of questions, really. So Tom, I'll come to you first.
Oh God, yeah. There you go.
Is there such a thing as a textbook golf swing?
For me, obviously, I don't think there isn't a particular way it should swing the club. Love the way Alex Noren swings the club, but at the same time, there is no technically best way of swinging the golf club. It's just however you got to make it work, haven't you? You might have the worst swing in the world, but at the same time, like you've still got to make sure the fundamentals are right to give you the best performance.
So you're saying it could be the worst looking swing in the world?
Yes, if you've got Jim Furyk at the top, but you get the club back down in a good position, would you change the top of your swing? For me, you wouldn't touch it, would you?
Exactly. And this is the whole argument. And this is the second part of my question. And it's that looks versus functionality kind of debate. Because at the end of the day, surely the best golf swing is the one that is the most consistent and the most repeatable under pressure.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter what that looks like, does it?
No, not at all.
Simon, what do you think?
I'm a sucker for a nice looking swing.
I know you are. You love an Instagram golf swing, don't you?
I love it. I'm an absolute sucker. I understand completely. Like, if it's functional, like, don't touch it at all. But I just find something more satisfying in watching, say, Adam Scott hit a golf shot over Jim Furyk. There is just something about it. So, like we talked about with the greatest Masters moments, watching Louis Oosthuizen hit a 3-wood and get the albatross, Tom. I knew you'd like that one. So watching that shot, because he got such a pure golf swing, I just feel like it made the whole thing that much better.
So if you didn't have a pure golf swing, you wouldn't rate the Albatross.
No, of course I'd rate it. I'm just saying it makes it that little bit better. That's all I'm saying.
Ooh. That's a really interesting point. And I'm not sure. I don't know whether I agree. I enjoy looking at really pretty golf swings, but at the same time, I've seen a lot of really pretty golf swings that don't function.
I know what Matt's on about here, because Matt's basically on about himself, isn't he? He's got the most weird golf swing in the world, but it works for him. But then he's played with people like Harrison Quirk, who's got a very nice golf swing, but can't get the ball in the hole, eh, Quirky?
Oh my God,
mad.
just done?
Well, again, let's get him on the pod. Let's bring him on the podcast.
Do you know what? I feel like we should get him on just to allow him the chance to come back at you there, because that is hard.
But in terms of his swing, technically, he's got one of the best swings I've actually ever seen.
Really?
I like Quirky's swing. I think he swings it really well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a decent golf swing to look at.
You got Tom saying that you can't get it in the hole, and then you got Matt saying, well, yeah, I guess it's a good golf swing.
but this is the whole point. It's everybody has a different idea of what they like a golf swing to look like. And if you look at some of the best players across the years, some of them have had great golf swings that you admire and people want to copy, and others haven't. And they've had unique swings and they've made it work for themselves. I mean, off the top of my head, you think of people like Lee Trevino, Tom Lehman, people like that. Not
Sergio.
Jim
Furyk, yeah.
You know, the list is endless.
Yeah, Matt Wolf, yeah.
Matt Wolf, modern day example. How on earth would you even start to teach that golf swing? But does it function? Well, yeah. I mean, he's already won on the PGA Tour and he's a hell of a golfer. So you'd have to say, yeah. So this is a really, really difficult one to kind of judge, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. The only point I'd say is that obviously Robert Rock has probably got one of the best golf swings ever. I think you'd both agree.
Oh, yeah.
It is technically sound and just looks as his rhythm, tempo, everything is as sound as you could be, and it looks really pretty. And I feel like off the back of that, obviously he's teaching tour professionals now at this point. Yeah. Now, would that be the same if he swung it like Jim Furyk, do you think?
So you're suggesting that potentially the reason why a lot of tour players want to work with him is because they admire the way he swings the golf club?
Yeah, and the understanding of the swing that he's got, yeah.
I think that's a fair comment, and I would understand why players would go down that route. What I would say about that is I think it's probably a modern day approach. And I was actually going to come on to something similar in the sense that if you look at Instagram as a platform and the role that that plays within the golf industry now, everybody likes to post a golf swing. Coaches like to post before and afters of the students that they've worked with. And I would think that a lot of up and coming golfers, when they're really starting to get into the game and they're thinking about the way that they're going to shape their golf swing, a lot of them will go off a swing that they've seen on Instagram. They will see a swing, go, God, I want to swing it like that. And they go down this rabbit hole of trying to copy this golf swing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes that works. Normally, if you get a player that's quite adaptable, likes to change things, is quite good at changing things, is very competent at changing things, then that can work. The difficulty where some people come is, and the difficulty with copying golf swings is sometimes the pieces within that golf swing don't fit the way that their body moves. Right. And they get themselves caught in a really difficult loop of they're trying to make moves that they're not physically capable of.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm
You want to
Yeah.
have a lower body rotation, do you know what I mean? Hip rotation, or do you know what I mean? You can't physically do that. And
That sequential timing, Tom.
That old
That's what it's all
sequential
about,
time.
mate. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is where, as coaches, and we've all gone through this, and I think I touched on it before, is sometimes when you're working with a player, if they've got a unique move in their swing, but they do it really, really well, and it's repeatable, like you said, Tom, Jim Furyk, you wouldn't touch his backswing in the top of his swing, would you? But I know every golfer on the planet would kill for his impact position.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of difficulty, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. And it's easy, like with YouTube golf and stuff like that. Obviously, we've all heard it being in the pro shop. Someone's come in and said, "Oh yeah, I watched this video on YouTube and I was really trying it out and it went okay for a little bit, and then I lost it, and then it wasn't so good." And you hear it 100 times a day. And I mean, the information that you get bar Tom's channel is really, really good.
Oh, wow.
Tom's is very, very good, actually. I was impressed. I was very impressed.
I was going to say, Tom sounds decent. I
yeah,
like
it's
it.
good. It's really good, actually. As much as it pains me to say it, it's very, very good. But yeah, the information's good. But
yeah, I think the hard part is
yeah,
they've never seen you swing a club, have they? Do you know what I mean? So realistically, it's all well and good looking on YouTube, but at the same time, that's just tips and advice to try and help people along the way. But at the same time, we can't see your swing. So it's one of those things. If you are casting it over the top, do you know what I mean? Yeah, we can provide solutions for that. But at the same time, you might be thinking that you're casting over the top, but you're not at all, and you're doing something else completely different. And that isn't actually what's going to help you. So obviously that's our role as a PGA coach, is to actually see what the problem is so we can fix it.
100%. Yeah, the knowledge is right, isn't it? It's just applying it.
Solutions. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that is bang on. And I think we probably have all had this experience where at the start of a lesson, you'll have somebody say, I know what I'm doing, and then you get it on video, and then they're shocked when you show them the video and they're not doing what they thought they were doing. And it's that whole feel versus real thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I've had lessons where people have told me they've got 6 different swings, and obviously they've decided to show me these 6 different swings, and the 6 different swings are exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? In terms of the swings that you see.
Yeah.
But I think it's one of those ones that obviously people think they know what is going on, but at the same time, it's actually looking at what's happening and finding out why something's going wrong in terms of the swing.
Yeah, feel versus real, isn't it? Again. Yeah.
So before we get on to talking about what golf swings we like, what we're actually trying to say is, really, if you're unsure about your swing and you're struggling, don't necessarily go straight to a YouTube video. Maybe go and see your local PGA Pro first.
Or send your swing in to putting it straight at podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, you almost got that right.
What I forgot. Putting it straight.
Go on.
Putting it straight podcasts@gmail.com.
Beautiful, mate. Yeah, first take.
But send it in to us and we can do your analysis
for free.
We've got 3 PGA Pros for the price of 1.
That, can you?
Can't complain with that at all.
Lovely
so
stuff.
let's dive into this a little deeper then. So again, Tom, I'll come to you first. Give us a couple of swings in the golfing industry, or that was my Alexa.
I wondered what that was. I thought someone was having a conversation.
Alexa. Unbelievable.
Keep that in.
Wow.
Keep that in. Definitely.
Should we just keep going?
Yeah.
As I was saying, Tom, before I was rudely interrupted by Alexa, she's going to start again now because I said her name. If you had to pick a few swings that you really enjoy watching, who would they be?
I mean, number 1, Alexander Noren. I mean, what a golf swing.
Really?
Yeah. Do you not like the way he's trying to exit low and left and try and hold on to that face for as long as possible?
I love it. It's not the most conventional of swings, though.
But I just love the way that he's practicing. He's trying to get that feeling across there, keep that face open. amazing.
Okay.
Great little swing.
Nice.
Okay. Anybody else?
I mean, the rest are pretty average, aren't they? Really. Yeah.
He's still trying to repay him from that debt that he owes him, you know.
It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, ever since, do you know what? One day I'm going to get Noran on the show and have Alex just pop in and do
How
a little
good
bit
would
on
that
the show.
be?
That would be a
Yes.
little calling Alex Noran out. We'll have to at him on Instagram.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Get him
Definitely.
on the pod. But yeah.
Fair enough. What about you, Simon? And I think I know. I mean, you're a big Ben Hogan.
Traditionalist, this is going to be
Ben Hogan fan.
Yeah.
Bit of
Yes.
Mac O'Grady
Mac
stuff.
O'Grady, yeah, very, very close. Ben Hogan, like you say, one of the best. And then modern day closest is, like I say, Robert Rock is literally the closest to Ben Hogan or anything. That
I've
sort
actually
of
got a book from Robert Rock, you know, like about his swing and all the different sort of positions, stuff like that.
Really?
Him and Pat Brady wrote it or something like that.
right.
And they've got like a different, obviously showing all the different positions and the feels of what was trying to work.
That's pretty cool. And it's something quite cool. I watched a documentary about Ben Hogan years ago. This was, and it was about he basically imparted all of his knowledge when he was coming to the end of his career. He imparted all of his knowledge onto a young girl who was playing golf, basically a young woman, and was saying to her, "I feel like this is what you should feel like, and this is what you should feel like you're doing in your swing." And she basically turned around to him and said, "That's not what you're doing." And so it's that again, that feel versus real thing. He felt, obviously, I've got no idea what it was that he was feeling in his swing, and people would pay to find that out. But he just felt like he was doing something, and he wasn't actually doing that in real time. So it's amazing, really. Someone as good as that, and with a swing as repeatable and as good as his was. It's pretty interesting.
What about another one from Rocky's stable then? Matt Wallace. Is that a golf swing you like?
Yeah. It's okay. It's not as good as Rocky's at all, like by any stretch. It's all right.
Yeah, and I feel like with Matt Wallace, sometimes it looks a little forced, particularly in the backswing.
Definitely.
It looks like he's really trying to put the club in a position. Yeah,
100%. And this is what I'm talking about with like rhythm and tempo and stuff. When you're trying to force it and put it into a position, then that all sort of goes out the window, where it looks so natural for players like Ben Hogan and Robert Rock. It looks brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What about you? Who would you go for?
It's a difficult one. I mean, the obvious one would be a Tiger swing, probably from,
of course,
2000, or do you remember the commercial that he did when it was like slow-mo and he was all in black, like in a silhouette? And it was a driver golf swing. It would have been around 2005, 2006, I think. That driver swing almost became like iconic. But then I feel like with Tiger, I don't always think it's been the best golf swing, to be fair. If you look at some of the times where he's won a lot of tournaments, you see a lot of footage of him saving iron shots with a high right shoulder and driver.
Yeah.
He was never the straightest hitter of a golf ball.
Especially with driver.
But had an unreal short game, putting, and mentally was better than everyone. So obviously a very good golf swing, and at times did swing it brilliantly, but I wouldn't say the best. I mean, modern day, I love watching McIlroy when he's in full flow.
Yeah. And that's an example of tempo and rhythm, isn't it?
When McIlroy's carefree, not thinking about his swing, and flushing driver, there aren't many better things to watch.
Yeah,
really,
for sure.
He needs to step it up though now, don't he? Really?
Yeah.
For me, he does. It's been a letdown lately. So
yeah, he's got to step it up.
And I think that this is the other thing. Obviously, every player goes through spells where they struggle. And a lot of the time, really, to the naked eye, you can't really see massive differences in their swings from when they're playing well to playing badly. The margins are so fine, but obviously at that level, it can be the difference between playing well and being on a really bad streak. And
yeah, definitely.
obviously for him right now, he's searching a little bit. He's low on confidence, and confidence is another really big word when it comes to golf swings, because again, you could have a player that doesn't necessarily have a technically great golf swing, but if they're confident and they understand their golf swing and what the tendencies are under pressure, they can make that golf swing work.
Yeah, for sure.
And that tends to be what you see. So,
right. Quick question. Come on, talking about golf swings then. Right, Tom, would you rather having the same bank accounts, would you rather swing it like Jim Furyk or Adam Scott with the amount of money that they've both earned? So obviously Jim's earned quite a lot of money in his career. You want to swing like Adam Scott if you
could just pick a swing, they're going to perform exactly the same.
Yeah, so like obviously Jim Furyk's earned more money. So
I'd pick Furyk then.
It's just all about the money.
Well, again, performance-wise, if he's winning more stuff with it, it's got to be a better swing.
That was my point. So, like, would you rather swing it like Jim Furyk?
I'd rather have obviously the swing that's going to make the most money opposed to the perfect swing. Do you know what I mean if it's better?
Would you though?
Wouldn't you?
Yes.
I think I'd have Adam Scott.
No way.
Simon is so you are so vain.
Just
I don't care how much money I win. I just want it to look good.
If I had Adam Scott's bank account and I swing it like he did, then that's it. Life's made, isn't it? Really.
You're that guy that sits in the clubhouse after shooting 83, but has the video of their swing and says, "Yeah, but look how pure P6 is." Yeah. That's you.
I feel so attacked.
Right. That is shocking, by the way.
That's so bad. That is so bad.
It's true. I'd have Adam Scott swing.
Could have a hole in one, or you could swing it like Adam Scott. Just swing it like Adam Scott.
I would swing it like Adam Scott over a hole in one.
I mean, in fairness, Adam Scott has got a green jacket. It's not like he's had a bad career.
True.
But at the same time.
But Jim Furyk, over a very long career, has just been a money-making machine.
He is a money-making machine. Yeah.
So, I mean...
But it's not all about the money. It isn't all about the money for me, you know. I'm a little...
No, it's all about the looks.
You guys are quite shallow. Yeah, and I'm equally as shallow.
We're shallow. How about you?
It was just a question.
God, wow. Well, look, keeping on the swing theme, have you got another swing review for us this week, Simon?
I have. Yes, I have. So we've got Gary Palmer, who has very nicely asked for us to look at his swing. So
this is my brother, by the way.
Oh, is he your brother?
Yeah.
Oh, I need to change a lot of this then. Oh, I can't say that. Yeah, no, I can't say that either. Right, yeah. Just cut for a minute.
It's really good.
Everything you said to me before recording, take it all out.
Have you been teaching him, Tom?
I've helped a little bit, but at the same time, what you got to imagine is my brother is very new to the game of golf. He's been playing for about a year.
Okay.
Oh wow! Okay.
Background knowledge. Been playing about a year. He actually strikes the ball really, really well.
Yeah.
But he does struggle with a leaky out to the left shot.
Leaky out to the left. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does he stand the wrong side of the golf ball?
I know he's holding the club the wrong way around for starters, which I've told him, which makes it a nightmare for me to actually get him any clubs. But at the same time, I've got him a few bits and pieces, but he's been playing about a year now.
Okay, so yeah, that's good information to have. Thanks for giving me that. Okay,
no worries, mate.
So if we dive into his swing anyway,
hang on a second. Didn't he ask for it in a particular accent?
No. I'm sure.
Yes, Tom. I believe he did.
I'm sure he did. It wasn't just a swing review, was it?
Yeah, the email that he sent me, which was a lovely email, specifically requested for a 10-minute review in an Australian accent.
Off
So,
Simon as well, wasn't it? So not off me.
yeah,
Don't
yeah,
want it
yeah.
off me. He wants it off Simon for his last
So-
podcast.
Simon, take it away.
Have we got a bleeper on this? Can we get a bleeper? Oh shit!
No.
Right. Anyway, so right, let's dive right into his swing now. I feel like such an idiot. All right. So he's got a nice setup there. You can see his weight's a little bit on his lead side. So then as he takes the club back away, you can see that his left arm gets a little bit high. And we can see a lot of that club face there. So that suggests to me that he's actually opening up a touch. So you can see the left arm's rolling over the top of the right. So if we looked at the down the line view, we'd probably see that club whipping on the inside a fraction early. So then as he carries on to take it away, you'll see I've drawn some lines there to show the center and the outside of his legs. So you can see he's breaking over that line quite a lot there. So his knee's gone the other way. Can I stop this, please? Anyway,
No, carry on.
So he's going across the line there. So you can see he's shifted quite a long way away from the ball. And then as such, to get to the top of the swing, he's sucked his arms quite close to him as he hasn't got much rotation. So then that's going to cause a couple of things on the downswing, all right? so what he's going to want to do is throw that club away from himself, okay, to relieve that pressure that he's going to have between his left arm and his chest. So that's going to be his first move from the top, all right? So we can see that because that left foot, is turned in a little bit, I like to turn that out and let that left knee straighten a fraction to let him rotate, okay? So then on the way down, you can see that he throws those arms away from himself. And then he has to shift a long way to get into the ball. And you can see he doesn't rotate very well on the way through. So that right knee there is still quite bent, okay? And the right hip hasn't rotated away from himself. So his feet are a little bit turned in. I'd like to see him turn those out to aid in rotation, take a little bit of that pressure away from the knees and the ankles, and then turn through a little bit freer, all right? But overall, for playing for a year, not a bad swing at all. Thank you so much for making me do that. I'm so happy with myself right now.
Yeah, I think that's a really good effort there.
I'll be totally honest with you. I don't think I can think of one thing that you actually said in that review. I was just absolutely 100% focused on the accent. I don't know what you just said.
I think throw the feet out, rotate a little bit, make sure we don't cast it out on the way down.
Don't shift too far away from the target on the way back. Turn your feet out, aid rotation, feel like you're staying over the top of the ball. Yeah, and then you won't have to shift so far back to it.
Superb. Simon, that is a monumental effort. Fair play.
God, thanks.
I think you'll love that as well.
It is hard to keep an accent up for that long. That was impressive.
It's all right when you're saying the words that you're used to saying in that accent. When you've got to say something like the feet are turned in, I'd never say that.
Oh, that's so good. Absolutely brilliant. Well, look, our last segment tonight is talking about our next event on the PGA Tour, which is the Zurich Classic of New Orleans. Bit of a different event this week. So obviously we had the match play a few weeks ago. This week, it's actually a doubles format. So we did a little research into this earlier. So day 1 and day 3, they play 4-ball. So it's just the best score out of the two of them. And then on day 2 and day 4, they play foursomes, so alternate shot. And I think from what we could tell, it's the top 80 players on the points list get to choose a player. And as long as they've got a tour card, they can choose anyone. So you're going to see some different pairings, some ones that you wouldn't maybe thought would go together. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting week. And what I thought we'd start off by talking about was, obviously we've got 2 different formats, 4-ball and foursomes. Now 4-ball there's a couple of keys to both of them really. 4-ball is generally it's the best score out of the 2. But the difficulty is you almost want to have your good holes at different times. So you don't want to make birdie together. And you don't want to have a bad hole together. So you've got to dovetail quite nicely in that. And then foursomes is completely different because you could go 6 holes without hitting a putt, really.
Yeah.
in effect, it can be quite difficult to get into a real rhythm with that. So that's definitely the harder of the two formats. So expect low scoring on day 1 and day 3, and maybe not so low scoring on day 2 and day 4. So Simon, I'll come to you first. Which pairing have you gone for this week?
So for the first time, I'm going to pick the same player twice in a row. So I'm going to go for Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. So obviously Cam Smith has had a great run of form. He's playing some really, really good golf. I think after last week, he'll have the bit between his teeth. To be honest, I feel like he'll probably be disappointed with how he's finished. He didn't have a bad last round in the end, but he really wavered in the middle. So I really think he'll have the bit between his teeth and I want to do well. And Mark Leishman's played well in the Masters. Obviously, of course, it was playing very, very tough. And I think that they could do well together.
Awesome. Aussie pairing, both in decent form. I could see that coming off quite nicely, to be fair. I'm not going to slate you for that. I actually think it's a good pick.
Thanks, mate. It's strange I picked the Aussie pairing this week, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've gone for Rose and Stenson. But I don't know. Because Rose obviously did really well, didn't he? First round of the Masters.
Yeah.
Stenson hasn't been doing amazing lately, has he?
No.
At all. But I think it's going time's about to change. Got like a feeling they're going to do good.
They do well in the Ryder Cup together.
I was going to say they're a proper classic Ryder Cup pairing. Brilliant record together. So perhaps maybe some of those old vibes from
I reckon they're going to
from past Ryder Cups they could find some form. But you're right. I mean, Stenson, really not had much form, and I mean even Rose, with the exception of that first round of the Masters.
Yeah.
Before that, no real form either. So I feel like it's a bit of a gamble. On paper, you look at it and go, Justin Rose, Henrik Stenson, that's a really good pairing. But recent form is a little bit hit and miss. So that could go either way.
2 ways. Could be a -5, but it could be a good one.
And to be fair, mate, I think my pick is quite similar. I've gone for Scotty Scheffler and Bubba Watson. Now, Scotty Scheffler's been a man in form this year. Bubba is notorious for being really streaky. When he's on, he's on. When he's off, he's off. So I feel like that could be a pairing that it's either going to work and they're going to make a ton of birdies and it could really, really go in a nice direction, or they're just not really going to get going. It could be either one, to be totally honest with you. But I feel like that's the same with almost any pairing. You look on the list and you can find 2 players that are in really good form and they could both just play poorly this week. They might not like the golf course. They might just get off to a bad start and not be able to recover. So you never really know. Doubles is always really tricky. So be interesting to see how this one plays out.
Yeah, 100%. Interesting to see. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Very, very interesting. Well, look, lads, that is it for this week. We'll wrap it up there. Really interesting pod. I think in the middle we got quite technical and a bit deep with that, but I enjoyed it all the same.
Yeah, we brought it back to shallow with the old Australian accent swing review. So yeah, balance things out.
Yeah, definitely. So look, as we say every week, if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like below, and of course subscribe to the channel as well. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter. Look for the handle @PutItStraight. And Tom, say that email address again.
PutItStraightPodcast@gmail.com.
Awesome. Get your swings into us and get your questions into us, and we will try and include them in future podcasts. So until next week, guys, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Cheers, guys. See you soon.
Here it comes. Oh, my goodness. In your life, have you seen anything like that? There it is. A win for the ages.